Let's do a makeup for over 40s. This could be an everyday makeup for someone. This could be a night out for someone, depending on how much makeup they wear. I think when you say, yeah, let's just do a makeup that would be flattering for people over 40, actually it'd be flattering for anyone, but we want to focus on skin that may be slightly aging, ways to lift it, ways to hide fine lines, those sorts of things. So let's do one. Firstly, I need to moisturise my skin. I do remember a time long ago when it didn't matter if I bothered to moisturise or not. You know, before moisturising was cool. I'm going to pop some SPF on. So there's a few things I've taken into consideration now I'm a little bit older. I'm 44, this is my 45th year. During the day, I'll use something reasonably light, like the Laura Mercier tinted moisturiser. I love this. This is my go-to at the moment. I think it's absolutely lovely. But for an evening or for a whole day, I want something a little bit more. Or if I'm, let's say you're going to a wedding or you've got something that you just want your base to stay on. I do find if I wear a tinted moisturiser, my skin, as I've got older, is thirstier and it just seems to soak it in. That's why I put plenty of moisturiser and SPF underneath, so that it's given my skin the moisture that it needs so that makeup sits better over it. But I do find if I'm going for an all-day event, I'll use something a little bit more. Now this Dior foundation, what is it called? Hydra Nude, Forever Hydra Nude, has just been sent and it is beautiful, I can already tell. But again, it's not going to be matte enough. Same as the new Givenchy Prism Libier. Gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. All of these are gorgeous. They're just not going to give me the slightly matter base that I need to hold into place for the day. But we'll come back to these. I'll use these in another video. So the sort of base that I want that will be more flattering and slightly flatter would be something like Makeup by Mario Surreal Skin, Makeup Forever, what's this one called? HD Skin. The new Anastasia Beverly Hills Impeccable, why can I never remember the names? Impeccable Blurring Foundation. This is really beautiful. I've used this in my last video, so check that one out. So I won't use this time, purely because I used it in the last video. Or the Studio Radiance MAC Foundation. Now MAC are notorious for not doing great, slightly medium coverage foundations. They've always had Face and Body, which was epic. And then it was harder to find, but this is a beautiful foundation, however it comes up very dark. So if you want to go for that one, then just make sure you test it and don't go for the colour that you would normally go for. I have used this in loads of videos, so you'll be able to see it if you want to. Do you know who else does great foundation? Number 7, I am their makeup ambassador, but they do, I'm going to do a video with it actually, I've done a few. They do Lasting Foundation. Can't remember what it's called, but it's really nice. I'll put it in the description. So I'm between these two. I'm going to use the Makeup by Mario foundation. I really like that. I've used it in quite a few videos, but I love the finish of it. You'll see. So I'm 6W in this one, and I'm going to just pop it on. I'm using the Anastasia brush that actually goes with her Impeccable foundation to put this on. Now I do think that foundations have come a really long way. If you went for a matte foundation, it used to be quite a lot of coverage and be quite chalky on the skin, whereas now they give a light coating over the skin, like an eggshell coating, without being too heavy. And the reason I like these is because I now have lines. You know, I'm not a spring chicken anymore. I now have lines, and if I wear anything that's too shimmery, it can sit in them, and during the day I don't mind, but if I want something to last and I need to have something that's kind of a bit more substantial. But look how nice that looks on my skin. It just gives it a flat eggshell kind of finish. And yes, I've still got lines. Yes, I've had Botox, but actually I really do it. I have full movement at the moment. I don't have filler. I had a bit in my lip, but I had it removed. I don't have any anywhere else. I'm not against filler. I have tried it. I tried it under my eyes and in my lips, but I've had them both removed because it just doesn't work for me. I've just realised I'm going to use quite a lot of Makeup by Mario products in this video. I didn't mean to, but I know I'm going to use the eyeshadow palette as well. It's not a conscious decision. I just think that his makeup is nice and it's perfectly soft for us over 40s that don't want too much. Just want a really soft, pretty makeup. I'm just taking another Mario product. This one is Master Blade in Dirty Blonde, and just shaping my brows. Now often I'll use a wax on my brows to kind of show all the hairs and all that stuff, but I'm going back to basics a little bit, and I'm just going to use a pencil to shape my brows. I'm imagining if you're a similar age to me, you probably don't have loads of brow like me. Like I have a real gap here. So I'm just going to run back in with my pencil and try and bulk out that overpluckedness. I'm keeping it quite empty at the root of the brow because it's not necessary. I don't want a big square brow. If I enter that area, it can look a little bit blocky and bulky. I'm going to go in with a little bit of brow gel to show texture. This one is Refi. I picked this one up because I really like the shape of it, and it's so easy. You don't kind of get it on the skin if you've got very few brows. Because of the shape, it just rolls over and grabs the hairs rather than the skin. The next product I'm going to use is Mario again, which is annoying because you can't get it everywhere. I've then got this lovely matte palette from Mario. It's called Master Mattes the Neutrals. Depending on your skin tone and colour, pick accordingly. I'm going to take this one as a base for me, and I'm just laying that all over my eyelid to make a neutral base to build on top of. I'm then going to go along this middle row here, and I'm going to take the colours that work best for my skin tone. I'm going to mix a few together, and I'm just going to start from my lash line and just pull upwards. I'm not going down, I'm keeping a little bit. Let me see if I can explain this. So where my lower lash line is, I'm making sure I'm not going past that, and I'm just lifting slightly upwards just to create a lift. If I go any further, it's going to drag my eye, personally on my eye, it's going to drag it down a little bit. If you're someone that has a more hooded eye, you may want to come out a little bit further, but still make sure you're winging upwards. You're just going to keep building from the lash line. Now I can go in my socket line because I have quite a lot of space, but I'm doing this more for people that maybe won't have. More for everyone. This is universal. This will suit everyone. Just making sure that you swap out for the right colours for you. These are really nice buildable texture. This brush is quite flat, and I'm using it on its side just to kind of wing upwards here. Then I'll go in with a darker colour over the top. So we're slowly building the colour. With the same palette, but a colour that's a little bit lighter, I'm just going to lift my brows a bit, and I'm just placing it anywhere I want to slightly lift. Not all the way along, just to create a little bit of height in the highest area, not shimmery either. And I can repeat that just above. Now if you find that this colour is a little bit too stark, light, or whichever colour you're using, mix it with its next door neighbour. It will just lessen it a little bit, because I find that this is a little bit too white. It's taking me back to my college days when I used to use like MAC nylon there. So you can see it's just creating a matte, really soft lift. And I'm going to take those two just in here as well. And when I do that, I'm just taking a slightly bigger brush and just making sure I soften it so it's not too harsh. You want all of those products and colours to just mute into each other. Probably come back to that palette in a minute. I'm just going to step away for a moment, and we're going to take a matte eyeliner. It can be by any brand you want. I really like these new Kosas ones. Not paid for to promote these, but they're really nice, and they stay in your top waterline really, really well if you're someone that finds that products move. The Mario one is lovely as well. I'm going to use the Kosas one purely because also Rare Beauty is beautiful, purely because I've used enough Mario already in this video. I basically want to go in my top waterline and just lift the eye, but slightly, discreetly. This one is in the colour Allure, and I'm just going to top waterline it. If you find that this closes your eyes up, don't do this step. I find it just makes my lashes look a little bit thicker and bolder and stronger. So I'm just taking it, making sure I'm running it right against the lash as well. I'm also not going too far in, I'm going just past halfway. Now you can use the pencil on top, or you can go back in with your eyeshadows. I'm going to go in with a darker eyeshadow and just push that and get loads of fall down and absolutely destroy it. I can clean that up. I should have tapped my brush. That was such a rookie mistake. Don't worry, we'll fix it. Look at all that fall down I got. Just take a tissue and clean it away. We can replace the base in a minute. I'm going to go back in with the brush I was using and just shimmy that along so it's softer. Still going upwards or outwards depending on your eye shape. Soft and subtle. Didn't tap again. What is wrong with me today? You must tap with these Mario eyeshadows because they're so finely jet milled that they do have fall down. They lay down beautifully, they blend beautifully, but if not tapped, they will fall. Take a clean brush and just shimmy over the top of that. Curl my lashes. These are Shiseido lash curlers. They are my go-to. Mascara, black, brown, whatever colour you want. Lisa Eldridge has just brought out a beautiful brown mascara. So have Ilia. Brown is having a moment. I'm still going to go black. I want my lashes to stand out. I'm going to use number 7 Pro Artist tubing mascara because it takes a lot of the work out of lashes for you. Big and bold lashes without having to worry too much about them. And if you find the eyeliner has fallen down below, this has hardly done it. You're just going to get a Q-tip, damp Q-tip, and just clean in there. It's hardly done anything, but I just like to keep that nice and clean, so I'm just cleaning it up anyway. I'm going to go Makeup by Mario concealer as well because it is my go-to. It's what I use most days. I'm just going to take a little bit here and a little bit here. I have a slight bit of discoloration there, not much of it. I only want a very small amount because this is where my lines are, so I don't want to put it there. I'm going to take a little bit around my nose. I get a natural redness around my nose as I've got older. I think I probably always got it anyway. I take a little bit on my chin and I take a little bit here and here. If you watch my videos a lot, you'll see I use this. I do this a lot, this technique. And I'm just going to use the brush that I use for foundation. The reason I use the concealer here, and this concealer is a slightly lighter version. What is the colour of this one? 200, I think it is. 200. Is it just pops the cheek, the collar, God, I can't even speak. The jawbone out, where it's just a little bit faded there, and the colour is, it just gives it sharpness. And it pulls this bit forward, where I have darkness here. Redness, just giving me a little helping hand. But again, they're products that are just melting into my skin. I'm getting a slightly smaller brush to get in here. And I'm using it first on the outer corner before I do the inside because I don't want too much product. So what's there, I'm just using here. I'm not making it sharp. I don't want a sharp. I feel that's quite dated, that sharp thing. I'm not using it there. And just little motion, just to kind of counteract where that is. And here, I don't want the skin to look like I've done loads to it. I just want it a little bit more groomed. I'm going to use my Chanel bronzer. Mario also does a bronzer, but it's a little bit more creamy, and I want something that's a bit more flatter and not so shiny, so I'm going to go for the Chanel one. Still creamy, but not as creamy, not as glowy. I'm just taking that through the tops of my cheeks, high up, tops of the cheeks, and around the hairline. The foundation is so nice. So making the product slightly heavier on the cheeks, hairline is second place, and I'm going to dust it over the front of the nose. I'm going to take a little bit of number 7 Pro Artist Bronze and Glow. I'm going to take the bronze on first. This is in the light colour. It's just nice on the top of my cheeks. Then I'm going to take the glow, which adds a really soft, light highlight. I've made all the skin matte, but I just want a really soft, light highlight. Then I've got this Revolution palette. It's got a cream blush, which has its own little sleeve, so it won't get damaged. It's got a powder one and a highlighter. I'm going to take a little bit of the powder one. This is in Authentic Peach, and I'm just going to take that. And it will stick to the highlighter that I've already put. So it adds a little bit of colour, just a soft amount. And then I'm going to run a little bit of that just through here. I quite often like to do that, just mixes it all together a bit more. I'm then going to go in with my foundation brush and just run over the top just to make sure that's all kind of softly muted in and become part of my skin. Kosas Cloud Set Powder in Airy, just to make sure the bits that I want flat stay flat. Right, take a look at the makeup, see what finishing touches it needs. I might go in with a tiny bit more of this, really softly, I don't want much, just under here to create a bit of a shadow. And then I can add my mascara to the bottom lashes. I'm actually going to use the brown on my bottom lashes, so it's not quite as strong, because my bottom lashes always look too prominent. So I'm just taking a soft brown. This is a Lisa Eldridge brown. Obviously you can use black, it's just, it was there, so why not? And then we're ready for lip. Now a lip is really personal depending on what sort of lip you like. I want quite a soft lip that is reasonably muted, and I've just been sent these Merit lip liners. This one is in Coupe and I think it's absolutely beautiful. It's really soft and almost muted, so let's have a little play with that. I'm just going to use that on the outside of my lip. And just buff it. I'm really into these muted lips that almost disappear. And then they also do a lip oil, and this one is in Twin Set, and they are gorgeous. And they have a makeup for any occasion for someone in their 40s or above, actually for anyone, but if you're in your 40s or above like me and you want a nice flawless makeup that's going to last all day and be flattering, this is the one. I'm also going to do one that's a bit more shimmery and a bit more soft focus eye, maybe an everyday one for you. I'll do a few, I'll do a little series of these because I know people want them. Hope you like it.